Alright guys, we are on the eve of Super Battle Road being finally released on Global. Now, there is a lot to talk about with this mode. The number one thing that I have to stress to Global players, don't expect to beat a ton of these stages right off the bat. This is a mode that you're not intended to dominate first night. It comes out, you run through all the stages, you get your LR Gohan, everything is cool. No, as units are released in the future, slowly and slowly, some of these stages will be more easier to beat. Some stages, I'm sure a lot of you will be able to beat off the bat, like Super AGL is a relatively easy stage here with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Khalifa, Super Vegito. There's many defensive options. Other teams like Xtreme Tech, only the whalest whales of whales can beat Xtreme Tech because you are going to be at a big disadvantage with Super Saiyan 3 Broly's defense reduction. So what I wanted to do is, there's so many different video guides and stuff to prepare you guys with, but I just wanted to get a couple of units here and there that kind of really shine in this mode. So to give a brief summary of what this mode is basically each stage, there's 10 stages, is a stage that you could use a mono team on. So on a certain stage, you can only do super int units, super tech units, extreme int units, yada, yada, yada. There's one for every typing. Now, what I want to go through is I want to go through a series of units who are incredibly valuable in this mode that maybe they aren't as good in other modes, or maybe some people might kind of not really, pay too much attention to that unit. The first two units to talk about, I have been screaming for months about how useful Tech Jaco and Intelligence Chaozu are. I finally got the attention of some of the bigger guys. Now they also talk about how good Tech Jaco and Int Chaozu are. Basically, what these units do is the first time they show up in the fight, they have a 100% chance to stun the entire enemy field. So that gives you a free turn. Now, Super Battle Road is 4 fights. There's 4 difficult fights you have to go through. So you bringing these units, each one of those 4 fights, you're going to get a free turn with either Jaco or Chaozu. Now, you keep them, in the 3rd slot of the rotation. You're not keeping these units on rotation, but they are incredibly valuable nonetheless in both Super Battle Road, and they're also very good in the World Tournament mode as well. If you guys have still not kept a copy of these 2, I strongly and highly recommend you guys, the next copies you pull of these guys, you actually keep. Now, I'm not going to talk about a ton of god leaders here, but there are some that I just kind of want to point out. Physical Super Vegito. He absolutely dominates this mode. He is one of the best units in the game. His passive, this reduced damage from normals by 50%. In Super Battle Road, the enemies hit so hard that defense is not as important as it is in other modes. And when I say that, I mean a unit like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who gets that 120% defensive buff, he will tank everything outside of super attacks in other modes. Here, he'll take less damage than other units, but he'll still take a lot of damage. So the type of defense that you should be looking for is units that reduce damage via a percentage. Both Vegetos, Physical Vegito and AGL Super Vegito do that. Yeah, both of these guys. So, it's pretty obvious that you're going to want to use the Vegetos. But again, especially the Super AGL one, this guy will take nothing. He'll take double-digit damage, even on Super Battle Road. Now, when he gets supered, he is going to take 120,000 to 160,000 damage. But, at the very least, normal attacks, he will completely, basically nullify. So, Super Vegito definitely is a big-time unit for you to use in the mode. Physical Super Vegito, obviously, he is about to be released on Global. I think with one dupe opening up the bottom right path, that's where Physical Vegito will start to really not take a lot of damage at all. I think even without dupes, he'll still be fantastic for this mode. Just a thought. I kind of recommend that most of you global players do not summon on Vegito's banner, But my thinking along the lines, I've said this in a couple videos, it's not really about like how good a unit is on a certain banner, and more so how many good units are on that banner. So like, let's say you're aiming for physical Vegito, you don't get physical Vegito, you get the second best unit or the third best unit. On Vegito's banner, it's either him or Gotenks as like really, really top tier cards, and then there's one kind of, I would almost say kind of mid-level card in Kibu, and that's basically it. So, you know, if you're a free-to-play player, you can't afford to put stones into that banner. There's just not a lot of value there. Save maybe for Angel Golden Frieza, for Tech Vegito Blue and STR Rose, or for LR Vegito and LR Gogeta. I wouldn't put stones into this banner, but if you do, and you do get physical Vegito, he will be fantastic in the mode. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is another kind of god leader I want to talk about, just because he is unbelievable here, because he has two parts that absolutely kind of crush this mode, both in his passive. One is he will lower the attack of extreme type enemies by 20%. Now, in Super Battle Road, you always have type advantage. All the enemies you're fighting, you have type advantage against, and they're all the opposite type. So if you're using Super Tech, you're going to be fighting a bunch of Xtreme AGL opponents, right? If you're using Super STR, you're going to be fighting a bunch of extreme physical opponents. And let's say you're using Xtreme STR, you're going to be fighting a bunch of super physical opponents. So you always have the type advantage, and you're always going up against the opposite type. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to be lowering all of the enemies' attack by 20%, which is significant. Plus, he also does have that 70% chance to dodge and counter super attacks, which is very much needed in this mode, because enemy super attacks on most of your units that aren't like some kind of damage mitigation unit will do somewhere between 120,000 to 160,000 damage. If you get hit with super attacks, you're fucked. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. You will enter into Super Battle Road, and before you can even move, you'll have multiple enemies super attack you, and it's dead. Instant loss. There's nothing, not a fucking thing you could do about it. Sometimes that happens. That's why Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is so good. On my winning run with Super Tech, I used 2 Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. I had my personal one on my team, and I brought a friend Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Even though he only gives a 50% buff to tech types, his presence alone was so valuable that I brought him. I had 2, one on each rotation to help protect me against enemy super attacks. I do strongly advise that maybe if you guys want to beat it with Super Tech, that you do the same, and you have maybe 2 Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, or let's say you don't have him, you need to bring a friend Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He is absolutely a super important unit to have here for Super Battle Road. So moving on, there are 2 healing units right now on Global. AGL Whis, which makes Super AGL even easier. This is what I was talking about. 2 teams that it's pretty easy to beat Super Battle Road with, because they have so many gimmick units that are fantastic in this mode, is Super AGL and Super Tech. Now, Whis, this is a perfect unit to have on the team for 2 reasons. One, when your health falls below 30%, he will full heal you. Now, he can do this once per fight, so in all 4 fights in Super Battle Road, you can have Whis completely heal you to full, which will be fantastic. And his stun chance. Now, I know, it may not seem wise to rely on stun all the way, but just that 20% chance of Whis stunning is gigantic. Several times on winning runs, it came to a moment where, this unit stuns or I die, and I was able to get the stun. It does happen. Another thing about Whis is he does also have shocking speed, so he links with Super Vegito and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which does help out a lot. There's another healing unit, of course, Icarus Gohan. Same thing. When your health is below 30%, he will full heal you. You could use this once per fight, so you can use it 4 times during your run. He also has shocking speed, so he can link up with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. That will help him out. And like Whis, he also does have a rare chance to stun, which is incredibly helpful. Alright, so moving on, let's look at some damage mitigation units. Now, I would say these are probably very obvious to a lot of you, but still, I did kind of want to mention them. Excuse me, I was going to say Angel Golden Frieza. No. This is just a live Golden Frieza. Tech Golden Frieza here. When his health is above 50%, he will reduce damage by 70%. Now, I personally have not beaten it with Extreme Tech, and not a lot of people I know of have. I've seen a few Japanese whales have been able to do it with, a Rainbow LR Goku Black, Rainbow Super Saiyan 3 Broly, just a ton of rainbows on the Extreme Tech team. Extreme Tech is just not suited for this mode because you need kind of the 120% buff from Super Saiyan 3 Broly, yet he is so bad in this mode. Extreme Tech, definitely the hardest team to do it with, but all the people who are going to beat it, you're going to need this Tech Golden Frieza. He will be important. Now, global players, I think you guys will have a little bit easier of a time with Super STR than us on JP did, because you guys will have access to 2 units that for the most part we have not had access to on JP. Obviously, the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma card, as well as LR Vegito Blue once he's in. Both units should be relatively good for the mode. The thing about Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma is they are, they get that 100% defensive buff, but they're probably still going to take a lot of damage, but those counters could probably help you move through the mode swiftly. But for the most part, Super STR doesn't really have as many gimmick units as some of the other typings, and it is a little bit more difficult to actually take down the mode with Super STR. I do think Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here is a very important unit. He does reduce damage by 80% for 7 turns. Now, when I beat Super Battle Road with Super STR, Vegeta was able to maintain his passive all the way through every fight until the very last turn on my winning run. So that 7-turn restriction, while it does seem kind of restricting, I don't think it's going to be that bad, and you should be able to get through the mode with it intact. Moving on, we have the AGL Golden Frieza. This guy obviously will be fantastic, reducing damage by 90%, which is significant. Now, honestly, I think Xtreme AGL probably has one of the easiest paths through Super Battle Road, because Super 17 is a damage reduction unit. LR Majin Vegeta is an AoE unit. Right now, she's JP only, but there is Darkness Toa as a healing unit as well. I didn't cover her in this video, since obviously this is kind of preparing you guys on Global for this, and Darkness Toa, as of right now, is not on Global. It's too early to say that she's never coming to Global. I'm not about to say that, but as of the moment, she is not on Global, so I didn't feel there was much need to go over her. But Xtreme AGL does have many great options for this mode, obviously, including the AGL Golden Frieza here. Reducing damage by 90% when HP is 50% or above is fantastic. Alright, few units left. Ultra Instinct Goku. Obviously, I do think he's one of the most overrated units in the game. It's just because he's such a hype character, Ultra Instinct Goku. For the most part, in many modes, I feel like he's really highly overrated. But here in Super Battle Road, when your health does fall below that 50% threshold and he activates that high chance to evade, that, again, should be about a 50% chance to dodge, and it is incredible. My first ever win on Super Battle Road was the night it came out on JP, and it was thanks to Ultra Instinct Goku. So this one might be a no-brainer for a lot of you. Well, once he goes below 50% health, you're able to get that high chance of dodging all over the place. He'll be fantastic for the mode, but he really is. Super Int does have several really strong units for this mode, including Ultra Instinct Goku. I know a lot of people were able to get Ultra Instinct Goku, so if you do have him, definitely try and make use of him. Alright, so next unit to talk about, Candy Vegito. Now, we're going to be talking about units that can dodge. That's kind of the next theme with these last units here. Dodging, in my opinion, if the unit, all of these units that can dodge are just lifesavers in this mode, you kind of have to get lucky with their dodges. That's just how it is. Candy Vegito is absolutely fantastic for this mode because he has amazing links for super tech, over in a flash and shocking speed. So not only will he be able to super all the time, but whoever he's with will also be able to super all the time. I believe when I beat Super Tech, Super Battle Road, I did have a rotation of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Candy Vegito. I relied on Candy Vegito's dodging and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's counter dodging to kind of get me through the mode. Now, I know a lot of people went ahead and rainbowed their Candy Vegito. I just got 15 dodge for mine. I felt like that was sufficient. And then outside of that, I relied on his 50% chance to dodge. He also can stun. He has a rare chance to stun. So him super attacking does actually have value. Overall, Candy Vegito is definitely a very good unit to rely on in Super Battle Road. Next unit I'll talk about, I wanted to talk about SCR Ginetta. SCR Ginetta and Int Ginetta, as you guys know, their big special ability is guard activated against all attacks. Now, because of the way Super Battle Road is set up, where you're going to have type advantage no matter what, the abilities of like the two Gogetas, SCR Gogeta and Int Gogeta doing damage, and then SCR Ginetta and Int Ginetta taking less damage, they are nullified slightly, but they do still activate because you are still going up against hero units, right? So there's two ways there could be type advantage and type disadvantage. When a hero unit attacks a villain unit, there is an extra damage they do to that unit, and it's the same likewise. When a villain unit attacks a hero unit, there is extra damage that they do. Now, even though you have type advantage still, you are going up against heroes, so that part is still nullified by Ginetta's guard. So Ginetta will definitely take less damage than normal units, but it's going to be a lot more than you're used to seeing with SDR in Ginetta's. Just be aware of that. One thing though, Ginetta's medium chance to dodge obviously is absolutely amazing for this event. Xtreme STR is one of the easiest teams to beat Super Battle Road with. Now, a big reason why, there's two options that are not yet out on Global that will be in the future. So if you're not able to be with Xtreme STR right now, don't worry about it. Because once the original OG Broly gets his Extreme Z Awakening, he is fantastic for this mode because he raises his defense on his super attack, and he also is an attack all. And then obviously STR Rose Goku Black, is a amazing unit. He is a key support as well as giving a 50% defensive buff to all Extreme STR units. So the Xtreme STR team is very good for the mode. Ginetta as well. It sucks that he only has a 30% chance to dodge. If Ginetta had a 50% chance to dodge, that would be so crazy because dodge is just so broken. But still, he definitely is a good unit for the mode. Way better than in Ginetta just because SCR Ginetta does have that chance to actually dodge. Last unit to talk about, I guess, is kind of obvious, is Khalifa, because she has a 50% chance to dodge. So Super AGL just has an easy path. Super Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Whis, Khalifa, boom. Those are like the main four units that can kind of carry you through. Maybe, well, okay, LR Trunks and Goten are not yet out on Global. But, you guys get what I'm saying. In the future, they're a good unit to use. Maybe if you have a Super Saiyan Blue Goku with a lot of abilities in the potential system, I wouldn't really recommend Kaioken Blue Goku because he does drain your health when he supers, but he is still an overwhelmingly powerful unit. So there you guys go. There is a number of units who will greatly help you in Super Battle Road. Remember, unless you're going to mod and beat everything right out the gate, don't get too frustrated when you're not able to beat these stages. They are not designed for you to just steamroll them first night. Look at JP. Now everyone is able to beat Super Battle Road. Everyone that pulled LR Vegeta or LR Gogeta, or even just using friend LR Vegeta and Gogetas, they're able to crush Super Battle Road. So, eventually units will come out where you could beat the hell out of Super Battle Road. Right now, it will be a little difficult. But thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.